I came up with this concept that helped me study melodies and get better at them. This is going to be a brief video explaining it so you can use it right now, but if you want to hear me yap a little bit more about it, you can go to this video on my other channel. So the first step is to quote unquote drop the ego, and this basically just means to be okay with learning the bare minimum of music theory that's required to actually make good melodies. And I would assume if you're still listening that you fall into the category of people willing to do that, so we can just move on. So the next step, which is step 2, is listening to music you like, or just popular music in general. So I do that by just making this playlist. This song is fire, by the way. And so these are just a bunch of songs that are popular. They're either just popular and I want to study them, or I really like them because they move me in some way, and that's usually because of the chord progression. This is on my channel, by the way, on my other channel, so if you want to listen to that and just check out the stuff I'm studying, you can go there and listen. That brings us to the next step, which is to listen to the chord progressions in that music, because that's usually going to be the thing that moves you in the music, or at least let me just speak from my perspective, that's usually what it is for me. And that's important because the next thing you're going to want to do is look up how that chord progression is built. Now I like TuneBat because it just gives you a lot of useful data like this. You can find pretty much any song on there, and it's especially useful when I'm remixing. But if I really want to lock in on figuring out how songs are built, I come to chordify.net, and you can literally search any song and literally see how the chords are built for like multiple instruments and stuff like that. So if we wanted to search like Stargazing by Travis Scott, we come here, boom, we have it built out and stuff like that. And we can also, you know, pick different instruments. I don't know who's playing mandolins and shit like that, but you know, they got you and stuff like that. Now, if the actual language, which this is pretty simple musical notation, if the actual language is confusing to you, there's actually this database of like thousands and thousands of free MIDI that has like basically all the stuff in music theory built out for you already. And I made this video in case you want to see me yap about it. I'll have all these videos linked below. Also, I'll have all the resources linked below if you just want to go straight to them. But it's really useful just in my workflow in general, and this is the entire thing. They've got like everything. They've got progressions, they've got the chords built out here. It's like really nice, very expansive tool if you need it. I don't use it a lot because I understand enough of the basics of theory to basically make this chordify trick work on its own without needing that, but I would believe it would be a very useful tool for anyone who wants to kind of skip the struggle of learning how to do this. Now step 5 is to actually study these progressions, and either you want to remember them or you just want to save them into a MIDI folder, and you can just make them a little unique, tweak them, actually use them in a beat, and then just save the MIDI so that you have them for later. And then eventually over time you just kind of get to the point where you can literally click them in on your own. And I've even gotten to the point where I'm like kind of sometimes playing them on my MIDI keyboard. So just being able to lock in on chord progressions you really like, using them repeatedly, because that's what the best musicians are doing a lot of the times. I wish I could find it. There was a video of Mike Dean saying he like plays the same chord progression a lot and just switches the sounds. If you really pay attention to it, you'll notice that no matter what the genre is, there's a lot of musicians, and it's usually the guys performing at the top level that do stuff like that. It doesn't mean you can't get unique with it, change it up, but it's important to just lock in on the progressions you like, because that's tied to emotion and stuff like that. Moving on from the yap, the thing that's actually going to allow you to take those chord progressions and make them unique is learning how to build upon the chord progressions with basic techniques like chord inversions or resolving chords. But then there's a bunch of other stuff too. So if you want to hear me yap about that for over an hour, you can go to this full guide on my other channel, and again, this will be linked below. Another very key step is step number 7, which is layering sounds. Now this is so important. I've learned in my career that like layering sounds in any aspect, whether it's drum programming or melody making, is very important. If you want to hear me yap to you for over 30 minutes about how to do that, you can go to this full guide, which I will also have linked for you down below. And then the very last step is to practice, because that's how you actually begin to lock in with this, and that's how you begin to develop this kind of like second brain about how to use it in creative ways that like really noob, beginner, and even like lower intermediate level producers just couldn't even fathom. It's like when you start getting those reps, you just start to get so good. And it's actually like a really deep concept that I've thought about a lot. So again, if you want to hear me yap about like just you want the full guide on how I actually practice beats, I got you right here. So check that out. I'll have it linked down below for you as well. Let me know if you do have any questions down below. I'll link this video down below as well, which will explain the entire melody development wheel on a much deeper level. I appreciate your time and attention. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.